Let's try that again. I have returned from the. God, it was good, yo. It was a good intro. Let me tell you. I don't know if I can replicate my words from like a minute ago, but we'll try. We'll try. All right. I have returned from the Lone Star Republic known as Texas, and in Texas, the land of the Six Flags, formerly the land of the Six Flags. See, I told you I couldn't replicate what I just did a minute ago. Um, wow, man, it was a good intro. I had a good intro. It was perfect. And yes, I have a Gus from Breaking Bad figurine right over here. I got this as part of a mystery box. Now, I do have to apologize. Disney Sheepherder probably couldn't make it because he may be asleep. I sent him the link a couple of times for good measure. But he's welcome anytime anyway. He's certainly welcome next time I do this show. If he happens to appear in the studio, he's certainly, welcome to pop in. But we're probably going to get Disney Sheepherder next week. I'll make sure I plan ahead so that I set a time and I lock it in. Maybe we'll do 2 shows next week because, sometimes you plan ahead and someone gets, a major busy thing going on. They got something to do, work to conduct or something like that. So if, let's say, we do a Monday show and Disney Sheepherder is not available, we're doing another show on Wednesday or Thursday because we got to have him in. He's a big part of the trip we had. We had a wonderful condo. We had a wonderful Airbnb where we just kind of hung out and regrouped in between outdoor activities. And then on the final night, I found a nice little Airbnb. And I'll tell you guys about my hotel journey on day 1 in a moment. But I do want to say hello to a few people. I'm going to say hello to the person who is in the closest proximity to me right now because, everyone in the chat is anywhere from dozens to hundreds of miles away. What side of the living room are you sitting on? Is Rose sitting on the side of the living room, closer to the avenue? Or are you sitting on that side of the living room? Are you in the kitchen right now? Because if William is in the kitchen, he is in closer proximity to me than Ro. But if Ro is in the kitchen and William's on the couch, then Roisin is in closer proximity to me. Let's keep rolling here. We got Punk Waddle here. He was great. We had a good time. I had actually met his puppet. I met Punk Waddle too. I met the human version of Punk Waddle, or I met his puppeteer, but I also met the puppet, and I actually shook flippers. I think there might be a video of me shaking. I hope there's a video of me shaking flippers. I got some footage to show you guys, but I can't show it to you all. I have to go through it and scrub it because I got to make sure that I'm not doxing anybody. I got to make sure that that there's no garbage on the table, etc., 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 etc. Okay, good. So you are in closer proximity to me than anybody else in this chat on the YouTubes. But yeah. Where was I? Yeah, so I met the Punk Waddle puppet, and the puppet is about the size of a football. It is true. Can we? Yeah, that takes. I gotta get rid of that. Can you believe this is a Star Wars sequel trilogy background, and I have a fly in here? That's not me doing diva stuff. That's me trying to catch a fly. Wow, 12 people tuning in. Holy cow, man! This would have been a great night to get more guests on, but that's all right. That's all right. We're gonna, just get more viewership next week again too, right? I lost the chat window. Let's make this a little larger. As they say in Vietnamese, buku. Let's make it buku. 2 buku. Okay, that's terrible. Let's keep going here. What up, David Glenn? David Glenn was actually the first person to tune in. He was the one who told me that I put the wrong thumbnail up, and I updated the YouTube thumbnail, but I don't know if the Rumble and Twitter X thumbnails are accurate. Speaking of Rumble, I need to go and check on Rumble real quick. I want to open up the Rumble chat because we need to show love. We need to show love to our Rumble people. Okay, good. I got Rumble chat up so that I don't miss it. I will not miss the Rumble chat today. We went to space while in Texas. It's true. That's why we had that thumbnail. Actually, the thumbnail has a story behind it. So, I mean, that's obviously not the thumbnail right there. Do I have a big version of the picture? Let me see if I can get you guys the big picture. Here we are. This is the James Webb first ever deep field image. Let's pop that into full screen. Uh-oh, I pressed F12 by accident. Let's switch back to my camera. Oh, and I got great news. I'll have to record a video at some point. But real quick, we got to say hi to the chat first. Because I do want to say hello to the lovely Mrs. Dadman Walking. Oh, yeah, no, nothing's wrong with the phone. Not only is, like, so, we're doing, I'm thinking about changing the day of the Monday show. I'm thinking about moving it to Wednesday or Thursday. But we will continue to call it the Monday show because that's the name of the show. I'm sorry, my hands are tied. I can't change the name of this show. This is the Monday show, even if we do it on a Wednesday. All right? And I thought today was Wednesday because I took the whole day off from work. So I'm kind of like living a day ahead, which is great because it means that every day I wake up thinking it's a day closer to, Monday or Sunday for me. And I discover I have one extra day of respite. I love it. I love it. I'm such a happy camper. How's my audio, guys? I'm trying to work on the audio. What I'm trying to do is make it so that I can sit further away from the microphone so that we don't do the whole Peter Piper's pickled peppers. We don't want that sound. So hopefully the audio is good. I'm hoping I can sit back casually and maybe move it around if I'm doing like, some video game. I could be like, but we're doing it like this. We drank a lot of beer in Texas, and I don't think I could drink another beer for like 6 months. Although this is the first time I'm drinking wine. Okay, second time I'm drinking wine since Texas. As an old Italian, red wine is essential with dinner. Plus, I hear it's got some, health benefits. Although that might just be something people tell themselves. I think there's some truth to it. Six Flags over Texas. Let's go ride a roller coaster. Heck yeah. I thought I thought I left my headphones elsewhere. Is my audio? Oh, yep. Good one. Yeah. I love Thursday Mondays, don't you? Hey, JPRPH1 is here. He's cool. I like JPRPH1. He always says hi to me and shit. Hey, what up, Slim? Good to see you, bud. Microphone, check. There you go. Oh, shoot, my mouse pointer did some funky business. Oh, I do have a Starfleet tricorder here. Wait, where's the chat? Okay, here it is. And it's also good to see you, Amber. I hope you're doing well. Today, I have a brainstorm I have to email you. I really had a brainstorm. I have a great idea. I'll just practice my Hebrew verb endings while I'm waiting. Yay, for practice time! I do know some Hebrew verb endings, but I might get in trouble if I impersonate them. Yeah, no, don't have me do that. I'll get in trouble. Well, I don't know if I'll get in trouble, but jokes aside, the stereotypical Hebrew. We've all been to bar mitzvahs. If we all have our, Jewish friends and have attended a bar mitzvah, you know how like it is. They say, things in their language, not their language, in the language of Hebrew. That's kind of denigrating to be like it's their language. But no, jokes aside, the Hebrew language is ancient, and when you go to a bar mitzvah, they read, passages from the Torah or whatever. I honestly don't know what they're reading, but I imagine it's from the Torah or Talmud. And, it's got that stereotypical throaty sound, right? That, and there's a lot of names where you'll see, like, there's a consonant at the beginning and a hard letter that somehow makes it go from a to But go see your Hebrew linguists for answers. Don't know. I've seen sea urchins wearing 3D printed hats. Turtle time. Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to keep the turtles to a minimum, but I got great news. Look at that. Wait. Is it working? It is. My Stream Deck is possibly, maybe, working better than it normally does. I do feel like it's slightly more reliable because what I did was I distributed the power consumption of my USB hubs. Originally, I had my audio interface, my gamepad, and Stream Deck on the same USB hub. But what I did was I picked one device, I forget which one, and I moved it to the main USB port on my PC so that now there's one fewer devices drawing power from my powered USB hub. And it seems that the Stream Deck tends to, be sluggish at times when it's strapped for power. Oh, I see Punkwater. We're going to get him in a second. And the second thing about the Stream Deck was when I'm playing video games with the gamepad and using the Stream Deck, sometimes I'll see the Stream Deck flick out and the audio flick out and the gamepad flick out for like a second. And that's usually because I'm exceeding the power budget of the USB hub and it's got to reset, and that can be pretty disruptive. So yeah, I decided to do something about it. And next week I'm going to buy a new USB hub, like when I get paid. But in the meantime, it looks like the solution I implemented works. And let's see here. Let's see if the turtles have costumes. No, man, I didn't get time to do that, buddy, man. You know, I flew, you get jet lag, and then you had a complicated idea. It really wasn't that complicated, but it involved making edible decorations. And it's like, I think we got to do that for the holidays, Slim. You know, like maybe do some Thanksgiving thing, like a cornucopia and a horn. But I think we caught up with the chat for the most part. I do want to thank Wrench Monkey Storytime for tuning in. He was one of the first to tune in alongside David Glenn, and what touched my heart, but jokes aside, what I truly appreciate was I thought I'd missed you. So that indicates this dude tunes into me, and when I wasn't in on Monday, that I was missed, and I think that's really cool. Oh, cool. I'll see you tomorrow, Roisin, for sure. We're gonna hang out tomorrow. Yes, I will visit. Not visit. I'll come true to my second home. No, okay. But jokes aside, yes, we definitely that's our thing Friday night. That's why I don't. That's why I seldom tune into Loki's Friday night show. That's why I only tuned into the chat, into the stream. I was part of the stream last week or the week before because I did not go to Roisin and William's house. That's where I am on Friday. When you see me popping into the chat and I'm half mentally present, half not present, that's why I'm hanging out with my peeps. You have here we are. You have to have some phlegmy congestion to pronounce Hebrew properly. That makes sense. Okay. See, can confirm and does confirm. Any of the pagans in tonight? Blessed Samhain. Happy New Year. I'm not a pagan, but I respect pagans in my study of the Roman Empire. And one last person we got to acknowledge before we get our second contestant, second panelist into the stream. We got to say hello to the Pop Culture Mechanic. I hope you're doing well, man. I missed your Tuesday show because I thought it was Wednesday. That's like literally David Glenn told me, he's like, oh man, you got the day wrong. And yeah, I've been getting the day wrong every day since I got home. All right, let me get my headphones so I can get Punk Waddle in here. Speaking of headphones, I think the left ear cup on these headphones is a little defective, but that's okay because I got Sennheiser headphones next to my desk that I wear when I don't want to be fashionable. All right, Punk Waddle, I don't know how to use the new Restream, so this might take me 30 seconds. I see Punk Waddle in the private chat. That's good. But how does this work? Yeah, so Restream recently implemented a new thing. And as a result, we're going to play around with it until I figure this out. I see you working on it now. Unless he's not in the studio anymore. Maybe he exited. Maybe he got busy. Maybe, or maybe he is there. How do we do this? Oh, good. Okay, he's still here. Okay, good. Hang in there, chat. We're gonna find the Great American Scream Machine. Oh, I see you. Okay, yeah, this is a beta version apparently of Restream. I see you in the corner. Okay, let me see how this works here. We're gonna add you in 3, 2, 1. Hello, Mr. Punk Waddle.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you got your 5x5 in the pipe, 5x5, as they say in StarCraft, the game. So how was your Halloween festivities tonight?
Pretty good. We have this. It's pretty annual. Been going on for quite a long time. Some friends that we go over to their house. They either make lately. They've been making taco soup. Have some good, semi-strong but well-balanced margaritas. And then we just kind of kick it, and like they live in a neighborhood that gets decent amount of trick-or-treaters. So now that we're older, some of our friends have kids, so kind of set it up where instead of having the kids run around
Mhm.
like crazy, the kids hang out in the front room. Usually there's like one adult there to help them. They get excited about passing out the candy, so the adults can kind of chill in the back room until and when things kind of die down,
Mhm.
the kids leave, and then the adults
That's kinda
hang out and
smart.
drink more. So
I love it. That's actually pretty smart because it's true. Like when I got friends with kids, and somebody's like, you're hanging out, and next thing you know, the kids are like getting up. It's like, dude, not only do you have school tonight, but the adults are trying to hang out. What are you doing
yeah,
in here? But now, jokes aside, it's a good way to strike a balance. Give the kids some activities, keep them out of trouble. Because I know for sure when I was a kid, I knew how to get into trouble. But yeah, I was talking about the gift box. I got a couple of gift boxes. I got 3 gift boxes from
yeah.
Punk Waddle chat. Just so you guys know, we're gonna take a look at some of that.
So
But
I'll
mhm.
be honest. I did not see what you or Sheep Herder bought at the con because now you might have showed us a little bit off, but for the most part,
Barely. Yeah. No, I
yeah.
barely
So
did. I got the box right here, and I'm probably gonna show it again next week, or maybe I'll skim through the box and then show it in
highlight
great,
reel.
show individual things, like see what Sheepherder thought was cool. But 2 things I liked from the gift box. See, what happened was, let me just lean over and get some things here. Ugh. Okay, I'm just gonna get up and grab the box. I was trying to reach it with one hand, like remote.
Could you fill Peeps with Tannerite?
What about Tannerite?
Well, we're talking about Peeps in the chat, and
Is
I agree that
Tannerite?
Peeps are terrible. Well, somebody said Peeps. I made a joke about they're not the candy for this day, and somebody said they're only good for targets. And I'm just trying to think of ways because, like, okay, peep jousting. I don't know if you ever heard about this. It's where you take 2 peeps, you stick them in the microwave, and you point a toothpick in the direction of the other one. And as
Oh,
they expand, you see which one pops the other one first, and that one wins the peep joust.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't want to clean up the microwave afterwards, but yeah.
Yeah. I seen that. What did I see? A video of someone guy. So actually, while I was like flying in, I think when I was waking up one morning, I watched There's a guy named Styro Pro, and he does things with electricity. He does all kinds of crazy experiments. He does things
Yeah.
where he'll buy like a laser and like shoot it at trees or some insanity or whatever. And in this video, he decided to build a super high wattage microwave. And so, like, I'm talking in the order of 20,000 watts, which is like about 20 times stronger than your 1,000 watt, 1,100 watt microwave. Now, you can goose up the electricity to a point, but ultimately you got to buy different magnetrons. So apparently he found someone, recommended someone on eBay who sells really big magnetrons on eBay, but they sell them under a different name, which sounds a little sketchy, but okay. And so now he's got this big beefy magnetron. He then sets up a transformer the size of a garbage can, or maybe like a small garbage pail, but like one of those big cylindrical transformers with the insulators on each of the connections with the little pieces of glass. And yeah, he does it. He like freaking like microwaves all kinds of crap. And like apparently, like if you put a glass bowl upside down in the microwave, you can, I know you can use a grape to produce plasma, but you can do it with a lot of other things. And so he was just doing random stuff, and I don't know, that shit was wild, man. Like he ended up with a medical scare recently, and then people in the chat like, hey, is it maybe because you've been doing all this crazy stuff? And even he's like, look, man, maybe, but I take precautions. But I've been doing it
Yeah.
since I was a kid, so who knows? But yeah, like, so this Peeps thing is great. He's like, yeah, like you said, we don't want to clean the microwave, and that microwave he built that 20,000 watt microwave, and yeah, that thing got dirty as heck. I mean, once he did the egg, that was it. And the reason I remember the egg because my mom's cousin's daughter was babysitting, and she put an egg inside a bowl of water in the microwave, and it blew up and it broke the microwave. Now, I don't think it really broke the microwave. I just think it's one of those things where once it gets that dirty, nobody wants to own the microwave anymore. But I don't think it really broke it. Maybe it did. Maybe the steam explosion. And that was the other cool thing. This 20,000 watt microwave could bring water to a rolling boil in like 3 seconds. And then like it immediately starts to incinerate the water or, vaporize it. Mind blowing. And yeah, Slim knows exactly who I'm talking about, and that's
Yeah.
the correct spelling in case you ever get really bored. That's the name, Styro Pro.
I
But
mean,
gift box.
with
Hmm.
that name, it sounds like he's got into interesting stuff. Yeah, show us the gift box.
Yeah, I don't know why styro, if that's like a pyro, but like, it's like styrofoam. It's nothing like styrofoam. Hey, what up, some person? I see you in the chat. I was to see Curtis YZ reacts. It is wonderful seeing both of you and all of you here tonight. And a happy Halloween to you. I was going to wear my Londo Malari costume, but one, I didn't have the hair, and two, I didn't want to make a felt wig, and three, it's kind of hot today. It's actually, how's your temperature?
It's warm. I think it can get down to like 68, but well, it also rained earlier today, so it's been
Ah.
humid too.
I feel like okay, so first day back from Texas, it was like a little cool over here in New York, and then it got
Okay.
warm again. It got warm almost like it's Texas. Like I don't have the Texas sun, but like it's decently warm outside. I had to run the air conditioner for like an hour today just to get rid of the heat from playing a game on my desktop.
Yeah,
But
I think I
you
might
know,
bump the air on because it hasn't gone on all day.
yeah, and I'm probably after this stream gonna turn it on for another hour, and then usually after that, after sundown,
Yeah.
it's cool enough that I can crack open a window, but I need to get that initial block of heat. So yeah, mystery boxes. So first, there's two mystery box locations that Disney Sheepherder, pointed out to me, and one was the official one where like some of them are mystery boxes. This one tells you what's in the box. Clearly
Yeah.
it tells you what's there. So it says
I saw those.
vinyl figure, journal with pen, plush pillow of a Goomba, a throw blanket with a warp pipe, and a pin set with Mario and Toad. Because I mean, like it's got the silhouette of Mario and Toad.
Got
And
it.
so this was a safe bet. The throw blanket alone was great because I tried buying a blanket before the trip because I thought I was going to be sleeping on the floor, and I didn't know that the B&B was going to have nice blankets.
Mhm.
And this mystery box even came with a poorly folded Dune shirt. Oh, I got to put this in the laundry. Now, jokes aside, when I was at the end of the trip, I packed my laundry and shipped it home, and that's actually that's the box this was in. And to maximize the utilization of space, I shoved some of the crap I bought into the mystery box. So I got camera film that I didn't want going through the X-ray machine. So now we can mail that out for processing in a week. I have this thing that definitely couldn't go on an airplane, and this is not really part of the mystery box, but you'll remember this because Mrs. Waddle even was like, "Are you bringing that on a plane?" And I was like, "Hell no! Fire in a hole!"
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, this is from the Alamo folks right over here.
Yep.
Speaking of the Alamo, guess what? When I went back to the Alamo with Shellback the second night, I gotta
Yeah.
get him. If Disney Sheepherder comes on next week, or if he's available, whatever day I do this on, I gotta see if Shellback wants to pop in too.
True.
But because he's part of the crew, it was just like he's there, and I even invited Snow Dub in case he wanted to just join because he was there in spirit, and we wanted him there. And look, he's got. I know it's not like a good constellation, but I hope it's some consolation of that. Anybody who missed out this year on the meetup, you now have a year to plan for the next one, and we could plan
Yeah.
to make it fun. Like, but getting back on topic, where's my brain? Okay, so we got the gift box. Oh yeah, the grenade. Okay, hold on. What the hell was I talking about here?
The spice, the
Oh, the Alamo.
very, very, yeah. You went to with Shellback to the Alamo again.
Yeah. So when I went to the Alamo the second time, I remember my dad when he was a kid. He got a Davy Crockett hat, and like this is in New York. He lived in Brooklyn, and he's on a Staten Island ferry. And
Yeah.
at 5 years old, the Davy Crockett hat got ripped off his head by the wind, and he
no.
remembers that. Not a big deal, but he lost his Davy Crockett hat when he was like 5 years old. So I'm at the Alamo on like the final day, and I'm saying, that's what I'm gonna buy. Like but my mom, I used to buy my mom gifts when she was around. When I went on vacation. Because of course moms love that shit, and
Oh yeah.
it's just a sweet thing to do and all of that. So I realized like my dad's not gonna care if I don't get him a gift, but it's like this is great. So I was like I thought it was great. So I grabbed the Davy Crockett hat on my final day so that he could replace his lost childhood Davy Crockett hat. So now he's got a coonskin cap.
That's cool.
But like this gift mystery box here was cool because like I went to buy
What color? It's Mario themed, huh?
yeah. It came with this invisibility cloak right here. Now it's highly radioactive. I pointed my Geiger counter at it. It makes all kinds of ticking sounds.
I
But
think you forgot the cloak of invisibility would have been at the Harry Potter, the convention a couple weeks before with all the Harry Potter.
no, this is Space Con here. This uses the crude Klingon cloaking technology here, where it uses
Oh,
chronoton particles charged with charged with cesium and plutonium 238 to make it invisible. But you're right. If I wanted one that was not radioactive, I would have gone to the Harry Potter booth. Yeah, that is true. You got a point there. But no, jokes aside, this is obviously green, and let's see if we can get a nicer camera angle of it without. Okay, good. That'll do well.
there we go. That kind of makes more sense.
And so it's got the black on it. I think it's like a border. I'm not gonna unfurl it right now, but I believe it's yeah. This is what it is. It's a warp pipe. And I
Hmm,
wish I had this before the trip because before going on the trip, I ordered like a lightweight bivy, a lightweight blanket in case I had to sleep on the floor at the B&B. Which, as it turns out, this B&B was more like a man cave setup, so they had like multiple extra blankets and mattresses and everything, and
cool.
like and 3 bathrooms and all of this. But the blanket I bought that was supposed to be super lightweight was like folded up. It was like this big and this thick, and it weighed like I don't know. It felt like 8 pounds. It's probably more like 3 pounds, but it felt like 8 pounds. So it's like I'm not packing that. Um. Okay, we got the plushie. We got the Goomba. Ah, shoot. Hey, oh, it's my Goomba, as us Italians like to say.
Do you?
I mean, my mom used to call me a Goomba, and I thought that was a reference to Super Mario, but apparently it's some Italian thing. Yep. And that's
Oh,
apparently where they got it. Now I don't know if the Japanese used the word Goomba because of Italians, um, but I mean, like Mario is an Italian plumber from Brooklyn. But anyway, yeah, so we got the Goomba pillow, the notepad, which of course is a collector's item, so it's not like we're ever gonna open it. Now, jokes aside, I'll probably open it because come on, like you can't make everything a damn collector's item. Although I'm thinking about it.
from
I noticed that by the way, I sat next to like this girl on the airplane on the way there, and I noticed at the end of the flight she pulls out a journal and wrote some notes down. Then I sat next to a German lady on the way home, and as it turns out, I didn't notice, but there's a German population in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah, so Central Texas, and I know I was talking about a little bit when we went. Okay, so jumping ahead, we went to a quote German inspired end quote restaurant on Sunday night. It wasn't very German at all. It was very disappointing.
Yo, yeah.
But
Uh,
in Texas though, in Central Texas, so a little bit south of Austin, and in that area, like in Green, Texas, and in uh LaGrange, Texas, ZZ Top, all that stuff. There's actually a prominent population of German and
hmm,
Czech that came to America, Texas, and settled there. So we have a lot of interesting German and Czech kind of culinary dishes that, like the kolache down south with the meat in it. The sausage. It's not just the Danish style kolache originated from Texas. There's a lot of people don't know that. Yeah, so we've got some. That's why I like Shiner, is being German Texas beer, like that sort of thing, has been. I wouldn't say it's the best beer in Texas, but it's been one of the better beers for a long time until they changed some of the microbrewery laws recently to allow for some of the other stuff to come out and get better
interesting.
distribution.
Yeah, because I remember that night it was a Oktoberfest, well not really October, whatever it was, and they didn't have any of the German beer at that restaurant
Oh
because they want to save it for the freaking other event, even though
no,
they
no.
are a German restaurant.
So yeah, they're a German inspired restaurant. So the the things, because Silver Eagle, i.e., Anheuser-Busch in Texas, apparently they were having some company event, so they wanted all the taps to be their brand. So they had changed it over to be just generic American beers like Bud Light, Michelob, you know. Unfortunately, Carbach is, Houston made, but blah blah blah, and just a bunch of generic beers. And it's like, look, I go to you.
They really put the Bush in the Anheuser Busch.
Yeah, they do because they had Bush on tap. But it's like, okay, so the food isn't very Germanic. Like I got the Jaeger Schnitzel, and it was just that bread fried, super dry bread fried with the mushroom and sauce on the side. So it wasn't even cooked in the sauce. It was just it was really, really sad.
I do remember there was also that super sketchy, like it was like that mix of sauerkraut and mayo or whatever the hell it was, and then I remember like Mrs. Waddle took a bite of it. It was like, and then like it's like
Yeah,
okay,
so
like don't be impolite to the waitress. The poor girl is having a rough night. The waitress, it's not her
no,
fault that they do this.
it was a it was a cabbage with bacon, but it had so much rye seeds that all you could taste was a ride, and it was
Wow,
gross.
that does sound bizarre. I didn't know you could overload on rye seeds, but I've never had more than a few peppered inside of rye bread, so I can't
Right, it
imagine.
was like I said, it's just funny. But now, if you go up a little bit north, like towards Austin, there's I think it's because we're on the screen and I'm not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Hold on, let me think. Maybe it's because the fact that I was drinking tequila and margaritas earlier.
Da, 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 da.
Oh,
Da, da, da.
Fredericksburg, right?
Oh yeah.
Which isn't
I,
too far away.
mhm.
They have some really good beer gardens and really good Germanic food, like German food.
I
And
don't
they
know. I
have,
mean,
yeah, it, like I said, yeah, and even so, Sugar Waddle was like, okay, so they had this like sausage plate, and she's like, at least this should be good. And they didn't have half the sausages available, so she tried to
oh
get the regular stone ground sausage, and it's just like it was about as good as like a Johnsonville, maybe a little bit better than a Johnsonville broad or things you could buy at the grocery store. Like it was
yeah, like
just
just like flat, not flat, but yeah,
yeah,
not kind of mediocre-ish. I got you.
yeah. There
You
was
know,
not
like
like, uh
I did good for breakfast with that place because what I bought for dinner, well, like remember I bought like
oh
I was like I was trying to strike a balance with Shellback because Shellback wasn't trying to go somewhere like overpriced. It's like sometimes you go to a place and like I kind of expect sticker shock. It's like it's par for the
yeah,
course, but I can understand when you're trying to like manage shit. You're not trying to show up somewhere, get a $15 meal, and have it turn into a $35 meal because of like gratuity plus like some mystery charge because maybe the price went up and the printed menu's out of date. It's like,
yeah.
just like nobody wants that bullshit when they're trying to plan shit. And
Mm.
so I was like, okay, I compromise. I'm like, well, okay, we'll go get. You want Whataburger? I'll grab Whataburger real quick. We'll get in and out. That's when I took a picture of the Conquistador. Yeah, dude, I saw these two dudes, like Mexican dudes, like American Mexican or English speaking Mexican. I don't know if they were Mexican or American, but they were dressed like the fucking conquistador. Like I'm talking with the long robe and the big Spanish cross on. And it was like, I wasn't sure if I was about to get colonized or not, but they let me take a selfie anyway.
Well,
Uh,
this is the weekend, right?
yeah, yeah. This is the final. This is the last. The final dinner that
Well,
we caught together. I think
Sunday
on
night.
Sunday
So
night.
another thing that we should mention that was going on in San Antonio was a Dia de los Muertos celebration,
Oh, dude, we got some
which
beautiful
is
pictures
they
of that.
say
Yeah.
is one of the biggest ones outside of Mexico. And so they take over different parts of the Riverwalk, and they've got the Mexican little section. There's a northwest or just west of the Riverwalk. There's a whole little village, and then there's little shops down sorry, southeast of the village, you know, of the
Bless you.
yeah. And so they've got a few different La Terra or whatever. They've got a few different spots, and so they were filled up with street vendors, a
Yeah.
lot of sugar skulls, a lot of stuff, a lot of street food,
Oh, I didn't get
music
a
on
sugar
both sides
skull.
of the Riverwalk or both corners. So it was just and people were walking around in costumes. We got to catch the um the float parade on the Riverwalk of just lit up floats that floated down the river.
That was
Um,
beautiful.
yeah,
Hmm.
as Eris of Chaos said, they were a little bit spanned out. Seemed like every 3 to 5 minutes we got another boat,
Yeah.
but it was
That
fun.
was something. Yeah, I think I'm gonna see if I can find that picture that Eris posted because it came out nice and it encapsulates like what we saw at least gives us I think it'll give the chat an idea of what we saw. Oh yeah, we had a lot of wild stuff going on here. Okay, so I mean I'm sure you all seen um I'm sure you
Yep,
all have seen this one here
that one
and
was great.
yeah, I just love how
Although
like
there's a
mhm.
picture. So Punk had one beer, but then he was gonna be responsible. So there's a picture later where he's drinking a Topo Chico because he needed to be responsible for these guys. Because look at Gator, he's just
Get it, yeah, and like, yeah, poor. I don't know what Billy Bob's doing. I guess he's just licking it out of a bowl, but
yeah. I
I
think
don't.
he's drinking his Modelo out of a bowl.
Yeah, very dog like. And then Coach, he just looks like depending on the angle you look at him at, but even that angle, he just looks like he's like contemplating life or something. I
Yeah,
mean, it
it's a
looks
little
like.
rough for him. So that's why Punk
Mhm.
was trying to be there for everybody.
Yeah, and I think it definitely spread some cheer. And let's see, I'm gonna just switch pictures. I want to make sure I don't dox. I mean, not it's on Twitter, so we're not doxing anybody anyway. But there we go, found the picture. And then this is the one that Eris took. And I took some pictures on the. Did Shellback take this picture? I think this is the one that Eris took, but I'm not sure. Well,
Okay.
anyway, let's hit the like button on it because it's likable. Eris got the other one. Eris got the picture of the one with the butterfly on it. That's the one I want to
Yeah.
find. Oh, and of course we
Yeah.
got the Alamo too. Of course,
I'm
remember the
sure I
Alamo.
took a picture of a few, but I just don't know where they are.
Yeah, I mean, look, they'll surface eventually. They're in your photo album, or you'll
Yeah.
be going to a slideshow, or you'll be going to data recovery and be like, "Oh, I found it." But jokes aside, that's something that in my line of work, data recovery is sometimes a thing, as you could imagine. So this is the one I was talking about right here that Eris captured, and like this is one of the ones that I put a lot of effort into trying to get on my film camera
Hmm.
but it's got a lot of saturation, and you got the butterfly shit, and
Oh
this is a
yeah.
pretty good angle, I gotta say. You got like the atmosphere, the
She got
colorful
the
tree.
well. That's
Hmm.
the sniper tree. There's a little mural down.
Ooh.
It's very. I don't know if you can see it, but down to the right near the bridge there. Remember when we were doing this? If you go down, scroll down. Oh, slowly. Go up a little bit more, and then pan to the right. Okay, you can't see it, but pause right there. So right behind that section where the bridge comes down,
Yep.
there's actually, and we when we took our boat ride, they showed us, but there's a little mural
Yeah.
about it because, as the story goes, there was I forget which guy it was, but he was trying to go back from the Alamo to do something, and then the sniper was up in that Mexican Spanish sniper was up there and shot him at like 100 yards because he was up in the tallest tree and could see him. So
That was the tree?
yeah, that's the sniper tree.
Holy cow, that's kinda cool. It's great when you have real history, and I think trees, not to sound like a hippie, but I think trees are interesting how they live in these longer time scales, and,
Well,
yeah, like, there's
the
history tied to them, you know?
the Riverwalk is grown up over so much culture and there's so much history in buildings. It's a really fun place to go to. Um,
Yeah, I tell you, it's like it was sort of like the boardwalk, but on a river, and like nice because you could actually sit down and have like a restaurant, have a beer, go to CVS. It was pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird analogy, but like river walk, boardwalk, except that you wouldn't want to swim in the river walk. I mean, at least in
Probably
my
not.
video footage of that water, it was a bit green. I
Yeah,
think I
but
have
also
some
these,
footage.
it's like 3 feet deep. So, like she said, you don't need a life vest. You just need to stand up.
Yeah, some areas get a little deeper, but for the most part, it's very shallow. It's like, yeah, that girl, dude. Okay, I got some footage from that. I'll at some point maybe share, but like we went on this for the chat benefit of the chat. We went on a one of those boat rides where they give you a tour of the river, and apparently the lady we got knocked it out of the park because some of them are very dry. They're just kind of like, oh, and over here, this is where Stonewall Jackson smoked
Hmm.
a cigarette, and it's like boring. But like this girl was just cracking jokes, like they were sort of subtle, but like they were just like I don't know. It's just like she said, like, oh yeah, my grandparents fought at the Alamo. Yeah, just last week they were at the gift shop, man. Such an embarrassment. And like it's just like random puns, yo. That girl had a good routine. She earned her tip for sure.
She was
Uh
very dry. Even Snacks at one point was like, "Oh, she made the joke before Punk Waddle could." So it was right up my alley.
yeah, no, I really like that really I'm glad we got that tour guide because it could have ended up like not being bad, but just not as good as
Oh,
that one.
it was very fun. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, this is the Alamo real quick, just like I used to think the front of the Alamo, like when I saw your videos, I thought it was just a facade.
Hmm.
like in the Wild West movies when like the building gets bombed and all you have. Well, no, maybe not. In the Wild West movies when they only build the front of the building and the rest of it is just like
Yeah,
supports and
like Blazing
sandbags.
Saddles, a ghost town.
Yeah, and I thought that's all it was. I didn't realize there was a side to it or an inside for that matter. I really thought it was just this hollowed out husk of nothing, you know.
Wow.
But the other thing we did was when Shellback went and I went, we saw the video in the one of the rooms that got blown up. Did you do that one where they played a video, they project footage onto the wall to show you what the room looked like before it got destroyed?
No, I did not watch
Okay.
that video. Did you guys do that?
Yeah, so basically in the room, I think it was the sacristy or the tabernacle, or I might be using the wrong term here, but it was like one of the rooms off to the side. So when you go in, it's the room to the left.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
in that room, there's a really smooth wall because what happened was during the Battle of the Alamo, there used to be an extension, a larger room, and that room got destroyed during the battle, one of the battles, and they just built a new wall over it. But as a result of that, they were able to do something really cool where they hung up. What up, Lorenzo? Good to see you. They were able to hang a projector from the ceiling and basically paint onto the wall the type of room that used to be. So they showed some history there, like 1600 or 1500, 1600, 1700, like what was going on.
yeah,
And then you get to the 1800s and you see like, you know, on that blank wall, you're having like the shape of extension to the room being projected on there. So you can see the windows from the side and, you know,
yeah,
the back wall that isn't there anymore. And the people, women and children, kind of just hiding out in,
yeah.
you know,
Because that's where they
silhouettes.
hid, right?
Yep, exactly. So you see the silhouettes of the women and children, and you hear the cannon fire on the sound system, and you see like fire and explosions glowing through the window. So nothing blowing up yet, but you can see like the color orange through the window, and
Hmm.
you could hear the horses, and you know you start hearing the fire crackling, and then the room eventually collapses. And I was like, that was just like I'm glad I took it. Just I know I can't convey like the full experience that someone would get from going there. I don't want to pretend that I can, but I'm glad that I caught a few seconds of that just so that at some point in the not too distant future I'll share it because I think it was really well done on the part of the Alamo, whoever, you know, the Alamo people, whoever comes up with these ideas, I guess, you know?
Hmm.
So that's what I saw in the empty room. And then let's see real quick. I wanted to give people a quick reference to the river walk. So let's see, you know, basically that's the water that's not very deep. I did scrub this footage to make sure it's like, you know, like not doxing anybody. We got palm trees. Also it's a little choppy because I didn't really export it yet. We're just playing it straight out of the edit. Oh, there I didn't notice at the time, but we have ducks right over there. Just in case I didn't know that was a thing. I thought ducks weren't allowed in Texas or something. I don't know. They got rivets. They got rivets. Okay, that's not really part of the experience, of course. And let me just make sure. Let me just double check the footage. Make sure that I scrubbed it correctly. Good, I did. Okay, good. The footage is scrubbed. So I was gonna include a video of Punk Waddle the penguin and snacks, but then I realized that I didn't crop it correctly. So I was like, okay, let's eliminate that until we got time to really review that. You know. But you know, I think we got some good camera angles of the puppets, you know, hanging out and doing stuff, and I think we can come up with something like a music video. Or I don't know. We have material good for the next year.
All right. Good to know.
And
Yeah,
so,
because
mhm.
well, my camera sucks, but we did use Sugar Waddle's camera a little bit and get some good stuff.
Yeah, you know, like you know, like I don't know how my film. I spend more time on film. Like if I left the film camera at home, Um, I wouldn't need to like freaking, you know, like I'm sorry, let me rephrase. If I didn't bring the film camera, I would have used my digital camera on my phone and it would have came out really nice because it's pretty decent, but it has its limitations. Like Samsung
Right.
lies about specs. I mean, they don't really lie. It's like a lot of these companies do. It's like they use
Yeah.
marketing and they'll say that it's 128 megapixels, but it's really more like depending on the mode it's in. And then when you realize it, it's 128 megapixels because it's taking two pictures and compositing them together to create a higher resolution or doing some like
Oh, okay.
gymnastics.
It's doing science. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some sciencey
Got it.
crap. And it's like it's one thing if I'm doing it when I'm doing astrophotography. It's another thing when the little dinky lens on the phone is doing it. I mean, phone it's pretty
I
good,
hear
you
what
know. I
you're saying.
mean, yeah, you know, like it's all in all, it's not bad. You know, it's just a matter of being aware of what don't use the 100 megapixel mode thinking you're gonna get dreams. Don't have dreams of grandeur. Just stick with like I find sticking with the baseline mode, like one times zoom and two times zoom. Because anything like above like one times and two times
Yeah.
zoom is digital zoom, where it's like if I want to digitally blow it up, I could do that in Photoshop. I don't need to do it, in the camera. But my point is, what is my point? That I probably could have gotten more quality pictures if I was using my SLR. I mean, not using my SLR, but the saving grace is that I did have the gimbal camera that we played with. So we got like the footage that I did get all came from this guy here. So that's what I'm gonna be going through and editing and basically just kind of tidying up. The other thing is if the film camera was a success, if I did it correctly, if I estimated my measurements correctly, or because, film with that camera, it's all manual. There's nothing. I didn't have batteries for the light meter, so it was basically me doing most of the estimating and the app on my phone helping me measure how much light there was for the camera. Because for the chat, on an SLR camera, you have exposure settings. And so on an older SLR camera, you literally can turn a knob to set the shutter speed. And the faster
Uh-huh.
the shutter speed, the less light you get. And
So
mhm,
I will say this, and I haven't used it in a long time, but one of my earlier, like, a digital camera I got like 10 years ago. I had the SD card. Still had like some of the optical stuff, and it still could go in and set light settings and all this, the stuff you're talking about. I could still do that digitally a little bit, like shutter speed and all that.
yep,
The way you can't do with a lot of stuff now. It was a little bit fuller model, and I don't remember where that camera is. I should
that's
find it.
funny. It's like, over the years, like I found that digital cameras got better at closing the gap. So if you ever buy, people who buy digital SLRs, they can all be operated in a manual mode. So even in like the 80s, film cameras started, not started, even before the 80s, they were incorporating stuff. So like by the 80s, you had cameras with auto exposure. So it was basically like what I
Mhm,
have, where if I had batteries, the light meter would tell me if my aperture was too bright or too low, and it would calculate. Like it would not really calculate. You would set the shutter speed. You would set the aperture, which is that little iris, the diaphragm that lets less light in or more light in. And based on those two things, and the type of film you have in there, the light meter would show a needle telling you, is it just right? Is it too much? Is it too little? Like Goldilocks.
mhm,
And with the auto exposure cameras, it would basically be able to automatically adjust the diaphragm. So you still set the shutter speed, or some of them it would do both of them. So you'd still have to do manual focus, but the brightness, the exposure would be automatic. And so modern SLRs, they do everything automatic. They'll set like the shutter speed, the ISO, and the aperture automatically, and the focus automatically. But for people who are real nerds, or people who sometimes the autofocus, maybe you're taking a picture of something that's got a reflection, or you're taking a picture of a reflection and it keeps coming out blurry. That would be a situation where you would switch to a manual focus mode. And in a nutshell, a lot of the digital cameras, especially the point and shoot cameras, did not have manual modes, but gradually, like some of them would have a mode, like if you were taking pictures of fireworks, you put it into fireworks mode, and it would automatically take an 8-second exposure. Like it wouldn't let you set it to be 4 seconds. It would just be 8 seconds. The shutter stays open. So as the fireworks are flying through the sky and the pom poms are doing that thing, it would
mhm.
give that nice, it would take advantage of the motion blur to make it look like a beautiful picture of fireworks. And it would be something that anybody can use. But nowadays, like on the Samsung phones and possibly the Google Pixel, but definitely on Samsung phones, they have a Pro mode, and in Pro mode you can do like manual everything. And
Yeah.
there's certain things, like the only thing that you can't manually do is the aperture, but like everything else is manual. So like that's how I took pictures of the stars when I visited my brother in upstate New York. And sometimes, like honestly, you don't really need the manual mode. Like the automatic modes
No,
are so good, like that they're not necessary. But when you have an expensive camera, or like a camera that's a little more intricate, it is nice to
I
have that fallback.
I think mine was a Samsung, and like I said, I know it's somewhere.
Was
But
it the one with the big screen, like almost like the Android cameras?
so it was a handheld camera. It was like an inch and a half thick. It had the screen, the digital screen there, and you could do the viewfinder. But like it had a little click wheel. It had like the presets for you know
Hmm.
for close up, for pano, for like botany kind of, that thing. But it also had two or three settings for like custom shots. So I started playing with custom settings for a few shots, and I was getting some good photos out of it. It's just it had took the SD card and it had batteries, and like I said, it just became harder to lug around. But now I want to go find it again once again because it's still compatible with modern technology. I think
Hmm.
I got it like I think when I was I think I got it like 20 years ago almost.
Sometimes,
I think I
like,
was in college.
hmm
You
sometimes
had
a
like a 3 to
twenty-year-old
5 digital zoom or something. It was-
digital. Okay,
but
I
it
mean,
had the
like,
optical and then it had like the extension of digital zooms on top of it.
okay, so yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes like with the old camcorders, like I almost bought a camcorder with me, and I thought better of it. And one thing that the older camcorders do, or some of the even slightly newer non-tape camcorders that have camcorders that take SD cards and stuff, they do really well when it comes to the zoom department. Like, compared to these phones where it's like this thick. Like when you have a cylinder that's this wide and this long, like there's plenty of room to do zoom. And only reason I didn't do it was because this camera, the little one I just showed you, was really compact. And at the end of the day, like Curtis YZ Justice saying, sheesh, high detail. And that's the thing. Like initially, I wasn't using 4K, but then I realized, no, I set it to 4K because ultimately, I can always downscale 4K to 1080p. But you can also, when you take something in 4K, you can zoom into it, which is like what some people do. They'll get a 4K webcam, but they'll shoot for 1080p so that when they're doing a video, like almost like a ponderance, they can like crop the image and zoom in without, doing it. They can do it after the fact. They don't have to do it while
Yeah,
they're recording. Mhm.
I was gonna say I don't know if I had quite those things, but yeah.
But like even like the camera, like a still camera often will get very good resolution, like better resolution than it can get in video mode. So that's why even older cameras sometimes keep up. Or one other example would be like I have this Pentax DSLR floating around that my brother got from a friend that he didn't need, so he let me have it. And even though it's only 10 megapixels, the type of sensor it has is actually very good. Like it's a good sensor. It's a different technology called. I'm not gonna get into the weeds on it right now, but I mean, unless you want me to get into the weeds, we should probably go through the
We don't have
mystery
to go into
box.
weeds.
Yeah, we're not gonna go into the weeds on charged couple devices versus CMOS sensors, but put a one in chat if you want me to wax on that at some point, and maybe we'll do it tonight. Probably after the mystery box. Probably not. But I do want to say hello to Dak Poet. It's good to see you. Happy Halloween to you and the puppy in the picture that you're holding. I'm assuming that's your dog. And if that is your dog, I hope your puppy or dog had a good Halloween in addition to you. What up, Timbo Tube? Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. Hope you all have a great evening and stream time. Keeping it 100. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, my sound is messed up. I keep losing both Punk and DJ Ronnie G. Rest of chat, let me know if that sound issue is persistent with you guys or if it's just when deep calls deep so that we can call out deep for bad audio. Now, jokes aside, I just want to confirm if it's just, if it's like all of you guys, I need to know so I know if I need to fix something. Um,
I think they're
but
the only person having issues
yeah.
though.
And then at that point, I'll have to
Oh,
reach out to Amber.
oh,
And
I do think you're right. I don't think it was a Samsung. I think it was a Canon Power Shot. I
oh,
think
yeah,
that's what I have.
that makes sense. They made pretty nice little compact. I remember they
Oh
made
yeah.
really nice point and shoots.
Well, because they had the really thin line, like half an inch thick, that had all the auto settings, but it didn't really give you the extra custom options. And then the slightly bigger one that had the little grip on the side. That's what I had. Like I said, I can find it. I know it's in some box somewhere. I remember stumbling upon it when we moved last year or two, so I should be able to find it again in theory.
For all the kids who are too young to know what a compact flash card, this is a SD card to micro SD card adapter, which I just dropped.
Yep.
And you can see it's got a little tiny baby slot for a baby SD card.
Hmm.
This here is a compact flash memory card. And I use this in my PDA collection, as you all know. And back in the day, you have to watch out. You don't want to bend those pins. And if you
Oh
own a
yeah.
Virtual Boy, the Virtual Boy cartridge has a very similar connection at the end, but that's besides the point. Um, but yeah,
Modern
like
technology.
and also compact flash cards used to be better than SD cards, especially first generation
Yeah.
SD cards were
Yeah.
kind of slow.
Well, like I remember. Okay, so that's the other thing is that Canon PowerShot that I have. It was only able to. It could take 2 megabyte. I don't know if it could take 4 megabyte. Like there was a certain point where it didn't have the technology to work with a bigger SD card, right?
Yep. It would take like a 256 gig megabyte or something
Yeah,
insane like that. So you might have owned an
two.
8
I
megabyte
could
or
do like 2
64.
gigs top. Yeah, I think.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, my Pocket PC, the one with the penguin wallpaper on it, that one can do according to specs it does. Is the battery good? No. This one the battery it literally uses battery power. Oh, there it is. It works. It literally uses battery power to keep the memory, but this here
I like
has a
it.
max memory card capacity of 256 gigabytes, but I determined that you can actually put a 2 gig card in there. And in fact, you could put like almost 4 gigs, but the trick behind it was when I put the card, I just showed a 16 gig card. When I put the 16 gig card in there, I basically have to partition it on my desktop. So I put it in my laptop or desktop.
Uh,
I split it into like 4 or 6, however many 4 gigabyte partitions or like three was like I guess like it's like
okay.
5 3.5 gigabyte partitions. And as long as I do that, it'll actually show up as separate drive letters, almost like on a PC when you partition it,
Yeah,
it'll
yeah,
say
no,
drive
I
B.
understand what you're saying. So you take pictures and you just find. I like your God hand nippers and that really cool Gundam Converge High new Gundam.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, this thing is
new
great,
Gundam
man. Like I'm afraid to
High
open it
Edge.
because I believe oh shoot, my Nvidia driver just did some funny business. Am I still on camera?
You're still on camera.
Okay, because my top monitor just gave me some lip. Uh-oh, and my stream deck ain't working now. Oh, there it is. Yeah, see my top monitor. I'm afraid to click no. We're gonna click no. Okay,
Yep.
good. We're still here. Oh, Steam crashed. Oh, wait. I don't know what happened. Okay, whatever. I'll reboot my computer when this is over. Um, I did some updating, so it's probably necessary for me to reboot it after that. So, anywho, yeah, this beauty here. You gave me a heads up, and let me see if I can adjust some settings here because, like, I want to just darken it down a little bit. Make it like
Mhm.
a little bit more visible. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found my camera. I hope you're doing. What up, James? Yeah, I see you, man. Yeah, and real quick, yeah, pop uh the Canon PowerShot 820. I think I have a coworker with that one, and just in general, yeah, nice little cameras. I remember a friend had a digital elf, not the elf, but the elf.
Mhm.
There we go. Good. We're gonna crank down. Ah, I'm in the dark. There we go. So, anywho, this right here is obviously this is a RX-93 new Gundam, not to be mistaken with the old Gundam, aka Grandpa Gundam, which I didn't know that was a thing until like sometime more recently in my life.
Okay.
Um,
The
and
one
I
that
need to,
started them all. Grandpa.
yeah, I was like, what the hell is Grandpa Gundam? It's like, wait, no, that's not Grandpa Gundam. That's the Gundam. How dare you denigrate it by calling it an old dude? But in fairness, it is a Grandpa Gundam. I get it. I get it. I get it. It's a
He's the
revered.
patriarch of the family.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess like as long as he gets revered, as long as the machine gets revered for what it did, I can't get
Mhm.
mad. All right, so I'm obsessing right now. I'm really obsessing. I'm like, this is just like on Tuesday when Snacks, or Wednesday when you, or Thursday, Friday, whatever day it was we streamed, and Snacks like, oh yeah, Ronnie's gonna be playing with the audio for 3 hours, and then like I had to stop myself.
Yeah.
I fixed my audio today. Like I got the audio perfect in my laptop now. So now I'll have to tell David Glenn. He'll be interested in the adventure I went through on that one because David Glenn is one of our Linux users here who isn't a
No.
nerd. I mean, he's a nerd, but he's not a nerd, and yet he uses Linux. He sets an example
Yeah.
for people who want to get
So
away from the tyranny of the PC.
James, the Gundam Converge is kind of. It's not quite a chibi because it's a squatty, beefy version, but it's not like completely disproportioned.
Yeah, it's
They
not like
usually
this.
all in the same stance, kind of like that.
It's not like the SD Gundam is, right?
Right. SD is going to be the chibi big eyes.
Yeah. 'Cause I did like the look of these because these actually looked pretty good, and so I'm thinking about taking apart the here we are. We do have the other one. So what I did was I kind of hedged my bets. I took this one
Yeah.
home on the airplane because I liked it more, and I just like didn't want to risk losing it because I think you mentioned that this one requires some actual nipping and nagging and potentially
Yeah, it
snapping
actually has
together
runners for all the funnel
for the
cards. Hey,
bits.
Peter Venkman fan site, good to see you.
Hey,
Happy
what up,
Halloween.
Peter Venkman fan site? Good to see you. One of these days, I really am gonna make a Peter Venkman fan site on Angel Fire, and I'm gonna do it on Angel Fire. I'm gonna make it in the style of a '90s website to really, make it insane. And where's
I
my webcam?
I
Oh, there we
will
go.
say that the one on your left is gonna be much
Hmm.
easier because it's basically not gonna be all built, and if it has an additional weapon hand, it'll be easy to slot in and out like it has the bazooka.
Nice. I love the Gundam bazooka there. And this says we have specifications. Assignment: Earth Federation. Excuse my English. Assignment: Earth Federation Space Force. Model number RX-78-2. Head height 18.0 meters. Weight 14 tons. Full weight 60 tons. If it was a lady, you wouldn't be allowed to say that. Generator output 1380 kilowatts, 1380 kilowatts, which is 1.38 megawatts, I believe. No, don't quote me on that. Wait.
Nope.
Yeah, actually, that is. Yeah, that is. That is correct. Total thrust output 55,500 kilograms, which is like I don't know, like 100,000 pounds. And we got gun tanks. Yo, I put a video on Twitter. There's a band that dressed up as in Gundams, and one of them was a gun tank, and they were singing on stage dressed as mobile suits. It was really really bizarre. But yeah, so I mean, like this one's already partially open, so I'll probably open it first. Hell, let's explore it right now, real quick.
Yeah,
And
let's do it live.
and I do real quick, what? So what happens? There's two places that sold mystery boxes. It was the one with the Super Mario mystery box that I have over here, and I wanted to buy the Sailor Moon mystery box because I was hoping to get like a statue of a cocktail waitress, but like
Nice.
because they're dressed like cocktail waitresses in a way. And can't these come with chiclets?
Yeah, they come with your chewing gum.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just like a baseball card. Wow, this is beautiful. But yeah, so they had mystery boxes like the Mario one, and I wanted the Sailor Moon one, but it was the official American Sailor Moon branding. So I didn't want to buy that because I knew it would probably be like, like not the anime or manga style. It's going to be like Americanized and missing cool stuff. So I go to this other mystery box place after buying the cool Super Mario one, and they had this thing. It was really complicated. Like, oh yeah, you want to play the game of games? I'm like, what the fuck is the game of games? Like, oh, you do this, you roll a dice, and you buy a mystery box, and we let you roll a dice. I'm like, so wait, I give you money, I get the mystery box regardless, and I roll the dice, and maybe I win something. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll play that.
Mhm.
And I thought I was getting the wrong box because like I was like, I'll get the mystery box from them because this one had like a bunch of anime crap on it. It had like Sailor Moon and all of that, but I thought I got the wrong mystery box because of the question mark that showed up. Yes, it's green. And and like basically in the end I realized I did not get the wrong box because when I received it in the mail today, I go, oh wait, this was printed on the other side of the box. So they gave me the right box, which is good, meaning that I did not get, whatever word. So anyway, back to the beautiful Gundam here, because that is what we're here for. I know you guys aren't here to see me. You're here to see the Gundam. And that's understandable. I can't hold that against you guys. I mean, if I was me, I would be here for the Gundam, not me. And I'm just gonna tweak the settings on the camera so we get the most. We want to see the new Gundam. So yeah, this is the RX-93 new Gundam. This was featured in the movie Char's Counterattack, and the
Hey,
runners that Punkwaddle mentioned are right over here. You were saying?
give me you, keep opening. I'm gonna go get a drink because I need to
Okay.
hydrate after the tequila. I'll be right back.
So
But
for
keep
those,
talking about it.
yes, sir. So basically, for those in the Gundam sphere, you all know already to some extent. But Gundam is a mobile suit, and what makes the RX-93 new Gundam unique, aside from just being a new model with some weird features, you have these things back here. These are called funnels, and in the original Gundam series, they were, I think, referred to as bits. But a funnel is sort of like a drone that sometimes they're controlled, like by the pilot. Sometimes they're autonomous. Sometimes they're controlled by brainwave activity. But essentially, they can each independently attack your enemy from different angles. So while you're engaged in combat, maybe you're using the beam saber, you can dispatch the funnels to attack your enemy from different angles, and presumably they're small, so they don't have a very big signature on radar or imaging, so they're a little bit harder to shoot down. They contain their own beam weaponry, so they're both extremely maneuverable, and they each contain their own beam weaponry. And later on in Mobile Suit Victory Gundam, the funnel equivalent actually produces a shield that surrounds the mobile suit, but that's a whole other topic. This particular unit, I believe, has either a bazooka or a beam bazooka. I'm not sure if it uses conventional ammo, but either way, it looks really cool. The new Gundam has this like white and dark gray color scheme, so that's what we're seeing right over here. Let me just really quickly check on the chat here. For some reason, I thought it was Friday after I woke up from dozing off. Oh yeah, well, Vangaman, I thought today was Wednesday, so when I created the thumbnail, David Glenn had to tell me that I had the wrong day and I had to update it. About the same as a F-15 Eagle or F-15E. Ah, the weight. That's interesting. Good to know. So that means that a mobile suit, James, is exceptionally light compared to a F-15, or at least, I mean, they do use like a lot of weird things. They'll use like a lot of titanium. They'll use a lot of ceramic composites mixed with titanium. So I'd imagine you can have a lot of control over the weight. There's a name I haven't heard in years.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh yeah, I know the song. I used to think it was unobtainium, like the movie The Core. But go.
I was gonna say, so on Gundam related news, I saw that on pre-orders, at least USA Gundam site and probably other stuff, there is now a metal build alternative for all the iron-blooded orphan kits. You know, the plastic that kind of falls apart and not falls apart, but it gets kind of weak.
If I was into IBO, I would totally be interested in that. But jokes aside, I do have to still catch up with IBO, and I'm not sure if I should wait until I finish Witch or I should just do IBO and then Witch.
Yeah. If you're not motivated to finish Witch by now, just go into IBO.
Got you.
At least the first season.
So it looks like these little runners here are like things that you attach, almost like thrusters or something. And I'm wondering if they do require paint, because they're not even a particular color, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, what do we...
They should be the right color. They shouldn't need paint. Like, they should just be...
Maybe they're colored on the other side and I just can't see it.
Well, I think they're just supposed to be white. Like, I think
okay. If they're supposed to be white, then yeah, then there's nothing to be changed. I got you. Oh yeah, I see, because you're putting a little white piece in the middle of this gray...
right. So
yeah.
So this is one of the most complicated of the Converge I've ever seen. And because it's one of their big kits, they're giving it a little extra love and a lot of color separation.
I got you. That makes sense, and you know, I think it works out because I definitely like, you know, I'm just all about my UC timeline, and so I'm glad they gave this a bit more special treatment.
I mean, that's why I brought that. I figured you would like those because UC timeline for life, right?
Yeah. I'm just a UC timeline elitist all around, you know. Here we are. I got the this is the antenna, which is sticking out through the breathing hole in the bag, so I gotta watch out for that. I don't want it, you know, ripping a leg off. It's pretty sturdy, but yeah, I just have to keep an eye on it when I put it back. But you can see it's got the nice, it's actually a little, my camera is not representing colors correctly. Okay, that's it. We need to spend the next 3 hours adjusting the white balance on my camera.
Running.
I'm kidding. It takes 5 seconds. See, look, done. I'm kidding. It's not done. I swear. There we go. That's accurate. Look, now everything else looks excessively warm now, but this is actually more accurate. Like my hand.
Do look that. Yeah.
My hand's the wrong color, but the camera is. This is the right color ish. So for the benefit of the chat, okay, whatever. I'm done.
Start it.
But yeah, like, so that's more or less the right color. Actually, that's pretty close. All right, we're gonna put back fake colors so you guys can see better. But yeah, so this is pretty great, man. I appreciate. Oh yeah. And last but not least, we got to take a good look at that shield. Now I'm not gonna disassemble it right now because I don't want to lose parts. I mean, unless you really want to see me disassemble it, I can assemble it now. But I think it's better I play it safe, being the disorganized desk owner that I am.
Like I said, that one is way more intense than all the other ones. Usually, like the Gundam, it's gonna be pull out of the box and you'll have to assemble, like put the headpiece on and there's a gun and that's about it, right?
Yeah, and that's like potentially what we're going to be dealing with here as an example. And just for quick reference, we'll just take a quick one more look at the exterior.
Also, I want to say, Salty, that is not cheese. That is just a Gundam antenna.
I mean, but we could make a piece of cheese look like a Gundam antenna, and maybe that
You
could be
know,
fun.
Gundam cheese art could be quite interesting. Color
Hmm.
accurate, you know?
Cheese pla
And cheese
or
claw.
gun
Interesting.
cheese.
I'm sure
Hmm.
somebody's made cheese claw.
Yeah, I bet you too. I'm sure we could Google it if we really want to go down that rabbit hole.
Maybe
Um,
another day.
Now, Operation Jaburo, like, I mean, look, I know an RX-78-2 when I see one, but is this from a manga? Like, what exactly is
So
this from?
this is like the Earth real type. So okay, you know how they have there's like a base jabber, there's a real and there's the goof flight type that has a real type and it has that like brownish black box
Mm-hmm.
and it has a different style art. There's a real type for this. It was a limited edition. Like these are like Gundam base, not Gundam base, but something. And then maybe PBNA, and then there's another one like a base jabber, and then there's also a real Earth type goof. That's the green and yellow version,
Mm-hmm.
regular goof. And there's like I want to say there's a red gun cannon. That's also the
Oh, that'd be
you know
nice.
yeah. I'll find those pictures and send them to you later. But this
Cool.
is a off color for the the Earth, the Jabro, right? The fight on Earth.
Okay, so this would have been a unit that potentially would have been deployed out of the Jaburo base.
Yeah,
And the
for
Jaburo
fighting.
base is in South America. For the chat, for the benefit of the chat, it's basically somewhere in the rainforest of Brazil. It is an underground city where there's these giant doors that open up with the forest on top of the doors. And in theory, it would be hidden from the enemy, except that the enemy knows where it is. So I guess at some point that cat got out of the bag, huh?
Right, but that's why it has the camo colors instead of just the space colors.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. Yeah, you're trying to beat the run dog in the jungle
That's
or
why the
something.
goofs have the gold and yellow, or sorry, the green and yellow goldish colors, like instead of just the blue on blue.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's just sort of like even like in Gundam Origin, or
Mm.
Gundam the Origin, like when you see those initial drops, or even during the 1 year war, when you see some of the ground units in, especially the spin-off series, like
MSA.
Double 83 or Double 80, like they have like, and that too. Did you say MSD, MSV?
Yeah,
Yep. Okay, so like, yeah, I often see those too. I even have a set of markers for MSV because I just wanted to cover the full gamut of color in case I was doing any color bashing or kit bashing, which is insensitive to kit from
that's
Knight
bubble
Rider.
suit variation for those of you out there.
Yeah, and oftentimes you'll have Gundams with like these darker color schemes, not terribly unlike what we're dealing with here. In fact, this kind of
It's
when I
kind of
first
like a
saw.
P Bandai color swap, but it's more in canon. But
Yep.
it isn't. Yeah, it's in canon. It's just like the alternate versions.
Mm-hmm. And it's like sometimes just another way if you want to rebuild the same kit, but you want it to pop out differently. I mean, it's a matter of choices, I guess, right? Ronnie's gonna fool around with settings for about an hour. Don't worry, was saved from doing that. Let's see if anyone in the chat has anything that I missed worth pointing out before we continue here. Ariel Cheddar Cheese has Gundam tie in. Wow, he ain't kidding. I gotta
There
find
you
out.
go. The mods are on it.
Indeed. All right, let's see what we got here. An
You know,
Ariel
I want,
Cheese.
yeah. So it's the Aerial Gundam. Jeez, I want, I
Wow.
want Gundam mac and cheese. Is there Gundam mac and cheese?
Yo, that would be cool. I'd love to have the little Gundam heads in the shape of the mac and cheese. Yeah, I could go for that. Like, and it wouldn't be even hard. Like, we could just take the Kraft macaroni cheese formula, probably 3D
I,
print the molds, and then make it ourselves. Like, in fact, my old Italian grandpa used to make pasta, so if I could figure out what his process was, we could probably make a thing where you hand crank out, and it just cranks out infinite length Gundam heads, and then you could just cut it to size.
this is
It's
like why I like Gundam. They're so fun.
Yeah, I remember like you and Ironcaster and who else was in that show? And Snacks were going over to whack, not to whack Arnold's. I'm thinking about the freaking Dave Chappelle skit, but not whack Arnold's, but McDonald's. There was like a whole entire. Do you remember that? Like, you know what I'm talking
The
about though.
the anime for the sauce that was actually a McDonald's commercial.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing. And I remember
The
there was this
Gundam.
whole weird situation. Like,
Yeah,
let me
because it
see.
was the McDonald's anime takeover.
We're gonna find. Oh yeah, here we are. And they had their own weird looking mech.
Yeah,
This
not
thing
bad.
right over here.
It
It
kind of
has
looks
a.
like
Mhm.
Titan Boxer, right?
Yep. And they even had a cartoon or a comic book to accompany the whole release. And then apparently there's this kit over here too. Oh, that's McDonald's China. So yeah, I'm not going there right now. Although apparently it's an official collaboration, although I wouldn't put it past, an entity in China not doing it officially. Oh look at McDonald's in one of the I don't know what movie this is, but that's a McDonald's. It says McDaniel. Yeah, it says
Mm.
McDaniel. Anyway, but I digress.
Anyway,
But yeah, it was
you do
one of
dig
these.
it.
And what was it in Japan? They use an upside down McDonald's logo because it's a curse in their language or some crazy thing like that. Or am I mixing up my franchises
I
and
don't know
genres?
what you're talking about anymore. We have derails, and
Well, why is it a W in Japan?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. But
Okay.
for the people who do want to know, why is it McDonald's in Japan? And the answer is it's always called McDonald's to avoid copyright issues. All right, I'm not going into that rabbit hole. Yeah, that sounded. I don't want to be
Then it's
about
not real
copyrights.
McDonald's. Okay.
Apparently, which sounds like insane, because I wouldn't put it. Usually, Japanese are much more legitimate than their neighbors on the other side of the. Anyway, okay, I'm joking here, but anyway, I'm still disappointed in Japan. I thought that they did everything above board and were good business people, and here they
You
are
started this
trying to
mystery
pull
box
a
an
fast
hour
one
ago.
on our corporation. But Jokey, what you saying? I'm sorry, punk.
I said you started telling us about this mystery box over an hour
Oh,
ago.
we're done. This is the last item. So I actually closed the
Okay,
box up
stream's almost
already.
over.
Yeah. So long story, we're basically almost done. I don't want to be going into extra innings, even though I'm off from work tomorrow. I want to get into editing.
Cool.
So yeah, this is made of vinyl.
That's cool.
There we go. And then Gustavo from Breaking Bad. So basically, this came from. So like I said, I bought the official mystery box from Mario. Then the second mystery box is the one that I got from the other place. And yeah, so I'm gonna try to send this to a friend who loves Breaking Bad if he responds. And why did my? Oh, I gotta turn. That's why it's still yellow. There we go. Okay, good. I fixed it. Yeah. So we got Gustavo from Breaking Bad. He's like that guy.
Yeah, he's a
And
pretty bad guy.
yeah, he's a pretty bad guy. Then like one of the other things that was really cool, I liked a lot. Was like, look, one thing I liked about when the Marvel movies came out was the
Oh,
Iron
yeah,
Man shit.
there was War Machines. I actually really, 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 really like War Machine. I didn't even think about War
Yeah.
Machine figures.
I got this by accident too, but I like War Machine too, so I'm very happy and excited. I don't know if I'm gonna open it, but it's like I could touch it anyway. I gotta clean it. It looks like it got some like dust and
A
water on
lot
it.
of those do sometimes come that way because they've been sitting in somebody's closet forever waiting to be sold.
Yeah, so I'll probably give like maybe like a 10% alcohol, 90% water solution, or I'll do something. I'll do something real gentle with it just to get it up to
Yeah.
snuff, and then I can maybe decorate or put it in
Make sure
storage.
there's not paint because it'll strip all the paint.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I learned that
Civil
lesson the hard
War,
way.
War Machine is best. The other thing that I really want is, and I don't know if you saw any. I should have asked. Is Punisher War Machine makes me very happy.
Oh, that sounds sick. I didn't know anything about Punisher War Machine at
Oh, there's
all.
a couple of comics I have them somewhere. But yeah, Punisher War Machine is a thing.
Let's get like a nice.
Basically, Frank. He basically, yeah. So the gist of it is something's going down. I don't know if I don't know if Nick Fury finally gives in and tells him where to find the War Machine suit because they're and they're hurt, and so then he maxes it out with more DACA and more guns, and then he goes on his Punisher justice spree. But from what I haven't read the comics yet, even though I bought them a while back, so I should read them. But what I think happens is basically the Avengers are like, okay, you're too OP, you're just the suit. So they basically have to hunt him down and take the suit away from him because
Oh.
he becomes too. He's like the antithesis of Batman, and he's got
Mm-hmm.
the anger, the justice, the bullets. Hey, Snow.
Yeah.
Hope you're feeling better.
Hey, what up, Jolly? Yeah, I hope you're feeling better too, man. I'm sorry that we didn't get to see it, but you were there in spirit. And like I keep saying, we have a whole year to plan for the next one. And I gotta say, man, like I got a B&B for one night for the final night, and it wasn't a terrible deal, man. It was like about the same as the ratty hotel I stayed in night one, except it didn't smell
Yeah,
like chemicals.
that's nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty nice. But if you guys need a ratty hotel, I can recommend one. If you just want to kind of top the rattiest hotel you've been to, I got one for you.
That's good to know.
But this is pretty interesting. But I get that, yeah, because I know Batman and Spider Man, they're the type of people, they're not gonna like slash people. They're gonna like tie them up and have the cops pick them up later. You know, it's like
Yeah, but the
they don't push
Punisher,
the boundary.
he gets gritty, and so he doesn't need all that. What you got there?
A thing that
Nice.
nearly broke my screen. Nah, but yeah, yeah. So this is one of the things in the mystery box. It's like a Pog launcher, but it's actually for these plastic discs
Little
that are
disc
not
launcher. Yeah, those
Pogs.
are fun. Those are fun.
Oh,
Oh, he puts heroes out of business and he kills all the super. Yeah.
oh, good. It's still good. Oh, good. Don't fall. Not you, the monitor. Okay, there we go. We're good. We're good. We're clear. Yeah, I got like two monitors that are double stacked like this, and
Oh,
like like it's a little bit of a balancing act. So sometimes when I have to reach around, I'll shuffle them over, and then like I have to like reorient the order of things to prevent eye strain or collapse. But one of these days
I hear
we're
you.
gonna do a nice thorough job. So anyway, yes, okay. Mystery box we're done with for now. We're gonna save the rest of the mystery box for next week. But if I had
Nice.
to pick one item from the mystery box, it wouldn't be this one because this is not from the mystery box. I simply shoved it in the mystery box along with my laundry so that I wouldn't
Womp,
have to
womp,
carry it on the
womp.
airplane. But for any Star
Cool.
Trek fans, you know about the Romulan Warbird, and this one here has a great feature. It cloaks just like on a show. I didn't even plan that. I didn't even. I was not even going for that, but yeah. But no, jokes aside, it is a beautiful Romulan Warbird. Like I even have the Enterprise D in my desk, so I can like give it a D. I mean, I could play Star Trek with the Romulan. I gotta get out of the gutter, but I can play Star Trek with the Warbird and the Enterprise. So it truly is kind of cool that I have like both now, and I just it's a cool. This is a Dex class. Hey, wait! I got good news for you, buddy. While I was going to my desk looking for something else, guess what I found? Not only do I have the scratched up Game Boy, I'm hooking him up with a Game Boy. Not only do I have the scratched up one, Wade, but for all I know, this one might even be a better model number. I really don't know, but here's the model number, Wade. Write it down, read it, write it, scribble it, or I'll Google it one of these days later on when I get around to it. But I just want you to see that we have now a second Game Boy. So you have a choice. If you like the one more than the other, you can pick either one of them. And they look like the same model number. So really, this one's just in better condition, Wade. So it just means if I keep this one, I could paint it myself. If you decide to take this one and you want to paint it, we'll talk about that later. Me and Wade.
I just want to say I'm glad that Awesome One also
Oh,
caught and
awesome.
appreciated that very humorous cloaking a moment. I'm gonna have to clip that and send that to everybody or put it
Yeah.
on YouTube's because that just made my day.
And I do want to say hello to Awesome One because I neglected to say hello to Awesome One earlier when I saw his name in the chat. But yeah, it's good to see you too.
Oh yeah, and I think I said this in chat. I don't know if you saw it, Awesome One. I don't know if you're still on Twitter do much, but I did make a post today about Punk being dead in Fortnite because recently I acquired the Punk is Dead Fortnite skin.
Yeah, what the heck?
So,
That was
so now I'm
something else.
using the Punk is Dead skin in Fortnite when I play Fortnite.
That was
And
a pretty cool one. It was like very now. So, question: you're not limited to using that only during Halloween. Like you can use that.
so any skin you acquire in Fortnite, you can use at any point in time you want, and you can mix and match cosmetics like skin, back bling, and all that stuff.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I was
It
seeing if I
is.
had it in my. I was checking if I had it in my Twitter history, but if I don't, not the end of the world. But I think the chat might want to know what we're talking about. They demand the right to know what you are talking about. No, no. Is that? Oh, is that it? There it is. This right over here.
Yep.
They were gonna pop that in the full screen there, and I remember I had celluloid 3D glasses, which is great because
Hmm.
it means that you can borrow my National Geographic issue with the 3D pictures from Mars, and,
Hmm.
yeah, it'll pop out. But yeah, that's pretty sick looking actually. It looks very morbid and scary, and,
Well, it's the pump spikes, got the baggy graphic and the graphic T-shirt, the long sleeve underneath. Look at those baggy jeans, the belt buckle, my it's got my trademark wings, so yeah.
I saw
But
a kid. Oh, yeah, it does have wings. Yep, trademark wings, just like similar to a penguin. I saw a kid. He was wearing a Misfits shirt at Dia de los Muertos, and I was like, "Cool Misfits shirt." And honestly, like, I thought it was very fitting to have the Goblin, the Misfits logo on a T-shirt. I just, the Misfits, right? That British
yeah.
band. Yeah, that shit. So yeah, and yeah, I don't know, like these Pog shooters, like what the deal with them is, but yeah. So we got like Sonic characters basically. So I gotta say, I'm pretty
Well, I remember
satisfied.
those toys. They're not Pogs, but I remember the little disc shooters.
Yeah, I mean, I was never familiar with them, but I gotta say, I'm pretty satisfied with the Pog shooter. I mean, I know it's not Pogs. I just keep calling them. They can't be Pogs. They have to have enough flexure to them to like, be able to,
Yeah.
fling. We got. Oh, this is a classic here. This I did not plan on getting at all, but this is beautiful. I mean, not. It's actually quite
Courage the
ugly,
Cowardly
but
Lion.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Courage the Cowardly Dog. I
Sorry,
used to
dog.
watch that show. um,
That was a before and after.
Yeah, now this is where I got confused. I got these like anime ID cards, and I'm just like, I'm sure like someone who knows more about anime, like Ironcaster or Brandon, the anime guy, might be able to chime in. So at some point, I'll have to set them aside in a separate box so that if I ever appear on a stream with them or if they ever pop into the chat, I can literally ask them, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And
Good
same thing
idea.
here, like just in the same reference, like My Hero, same thing. It's like I gotta ask, like, what is this the thing people buy? These aren't really postcards, so I don't know what this is about. But we're gonna save the rest of the mystery box for next week. Don't worry. But what I will say is um, that I got some Transformers stuff here, so I gotta hit up Mike Pacific 414, see if any of that stuff interests him. I have this thing. I gotta see if anyone wants to willingly take this because I don't really need any more Ouija board stuff than what I already have. Like I hear you're not
Yeah.
allowed to throw them out. You're not allowed to burn them. You got to give it to someone willingly. So it's like I got one Ouija board. I'm not throwing it out because my mom bought it for me when I was 12. But at the same time, I'm also kind of afraid to f around with it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's something I'm not gonna go
Yeah, like
into.
at the time I thought it was just a game, but then I started hearing crazy stories, and I'm just like, let's hedge our bets and not f around and not find out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, rest of the items we'll save for next week. But I just wanted to share that. And like I said, we got the Mario and Toad pin set over here. And what was the main thing I wanted to point out? We got the Romulan ship, we got the Transformers, we got some comic books here, which we're not going to touch at all tonight for sure. We got the Breaking Bad thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to underscore the Los Pollos Hermanos bucket. I think that's hilarious that there's a. Why is there a missing bucket here, though? Well, anyway, we got a Chicken Brothers bucket right over here, so that's kind of cool. Um,
Hmm.
and then I think that covers my bases, but if I remember something in the next 35 seconds, I won't take up too much about your time. I just want to make sure I don't neglect it if I do remember something else.
Right. And remember,
And,
we can always talk about it
oh,
on a later stream.
yes, that's true. I got my tricorder, which I don't know. I misplaced the screws, but the guy who sold it to me with the screws removed because I basically got a discount for a busted tricorder. But it's not
Okay.
really that busted. It was just that he couldn't open it, but it's like it does the sounds.
Cool.
So my plan is basically to just like clean it up and potentially repaint it with some really strong paint, possibly enamel paint after I investigate if that's a good idea. But I just want a good like clear coat on top of the paint. I'm gonna make it glorious and beautiful. And next Halloween, I'm gonna be a Starfleet officer.
Cool.
Maybe, I don't know. Actually, I want to be Bright Noah from Gundam next Halloween. I'm gonna save the
Nice.
geological formations for when I get Disney Sheepherder on. But I did buy some rocks. I did buy some geological rocks. And why is there an action figure in a bag? We need to know what's in this bag real quick.
It was really funny because when
Boba
Sugar
Fett?
and I, nice.
Why is there a turd on his head? Okay, some kid put this next to a heat lamp because it's got a melted. Like somebody was messing around with it when they were 12 years old. I don't know. Something
Oh, his
happened.
spike melted down. His antenna broke,
Yeah.
melted.
So I don't know. I guess we'll save this for a situation when he's in a Sarlacc pit.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. You was saying?
Oh, when Sugarwall and I were looking through all the stuff we bought, it felt like Christmas Day because, like, wait, which one is this? What is this? Oh yeah, okay, I remember buying this.
Yeah,
We
that is
we bought
fun.
we bought more stuff from the Day of the Dead celebration going around. We bought a few things at the con, but it wasn't either of our super fortes, so it kind of made it easier not to spend up too much money on stuff.
It was rough for me because like I wanted to buy more, but I was also trying to strike a balance between budgeting and having enough money until payday and of the financial obligations when I got
Yeah.
back. But that being besides the point, it was also like I knew I had to ship things back, and maybe if I planned a little better. See, the problem is you can't ship things back by post office or UPS on a Sunday, so I ended up
Right.
going to FedEx and paying a little bit more. But now I have a
Mhm.
FedEx account, and apparently I could pay for shipping things after I ship them out. So that's kind of cool. Like I could just show up and be like, "Here's my customer number," and they'll put a shipment together and just bill me for that shit. So that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of cool. I'm
Okay.
okay with it. Yeah, I
That's
did research.
okay.
I made sure there wasn't a maintenance fee on it. Like that was the thing when the lady was telling me about it. I was like, "Well, does it cost money to have if you don't use it?" Like stuff like that. But
Right.
bottom
But if
line is
you
that. Mhm.
yeah, if you ship stuff in, and then like if you start buying stuff at cons and then like shipping them out and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my main thing is like when I travel, I want to have the option to ship things back home with ease. So I don't necessarily
Right.
need FedEx for that, but next time I go, I got to make sure I go to a FedEx that's not in a hotel because you pay a little bit of a premium. That day it was okay because I was
Right.
willing to do that, but
Hmm.
me and Showback, we kind of decided to empty the beer from the fridge and like lug it with us, which was like a little bit like we probably should have like discussed it. And I just determined like, are we even gonna drink this beer? Because I ended up leaving the beer for the housekeeping,
Hmm.
which lucky bastards. And I left them a Coca Cola in case they need some hydration to wash down the beer. Seemed like the right thing to do.
Very kind of you.
Yeah, right. But like yeah, man. I mean, I gotta say, it was a great trip. It was great, meeting you and Sugar Waddle, and I mean, I met you online, but it was good hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
And
Seeing
I'm
IRL is different.
yeah, it was not actually it wasn't different. It was the
Yeah.
same banter, same shit. We just
Right.
had more beer.
Different context. Same people.
Yeah, jokes aside, I'm just pulling legs here, but yeah, you're actually right. It is different than this screen to screen routine or whatever. And like I'm grateful that Disney Sheepherder was able to get us that condo. And like so I flew in on a
Yeah.
Wednesday just for the chat. I flew in on Wednesday, went to a really ratty hotel because I knew I was only going to stay there for one night, and then the following day I was going to go to the condo. So I did. Next day I think we did something. Oh yeah, I met up with you guys at the Alamo.
We went to the Elmo. We walked around. We got food. We had fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. And then like we did the rooftop stream, which I downloaded at Punk Waddle. I downloaded the rooftop stream. I'm gonna do some editing on it, just kind of clean it up a little bit. It doesn't really need much cleaning, but I want to see if I could tweak the audio. And it was actually interesting because my dad and his friend was having an audio issue with somebody on some stream they were doing some political stuff that people their age like to do. No, I'm joking. They
Sure.
they,
Sure.
they, they care about the country's future, kids. But jokes aside, it turned out like someone was kind of roboting. It was because it was the opposite. You would think that it was the noise thing, noise reduction would prevent it, but it turned out because their microphone levels were so low, or they were sitting too far away from their microphone, the noise
Oh,
cancellation or noise reduction was like their voice was below the cutoff. So it's sort of like when we did the rooftop stream and you popped in
gotcha.
there, if the noise reduction would reduce the background noise of the cars and the wind, but if
But
you
if
were
I was
too
too far
far,
away,
yep. And so I think I
got it.
adjusted it, or I think I put myself on mute and I said maybe speak louder, and then after that, like so for most of it, or for like the like anywhere from the middle to the latter part, the sound level was a good on your part. But I remember the
Mhm.
first part that you appeared on, it was like hit or miss, and so I want to see if I can like eke out a little bit better sound on that part. I want to see if there's
Mhm.
anybody getting doxxed that doesn't want to get doxxed, and trim them out. Just kind of cover all our bases there. So we'll
Yeah.
have something repackaged, and also just so we have clips because I mean we got good clips there, dude. That was a good stream. That's on Snacks and Comics and Snacks and Friends for the chat. But that
Dope.
was a good time, man. I mean, like we had Coach, we had Gator, we had you, the Punk Waddle, we had Loki, and I had a beautiful view of the Space Needle, but it's called the Hemisphere in Texas behind me. So I'm very happy. But with that being said, let's double check the chat real quick. Oh, I do want to say hello, and then we'll wrap her up. What up, Padawan? Be good to see you, buddy. And I can't read your chat because I'm blocking it with the chat. Here it is. Punk Waddle is my also known as. I've been called Punk Waddle in chat so many times on different streams. Hopefully, I never gave them a bad name.
No, and like I put in chat too, for the last about 3 years, because I remember I think we've been on a stream once or twice together, maybe a Baron Armin tags, and a couple of times. But like ever since then, it's like people will call me, "Hey Padawannabe," or "Hey," the. It's hilarious, even though I've got the purple mohawk puppet, and you have your own thing. Like, still, there's not too many P's in the fellowship or whatever you want to call it that I guess are close enough homonyms. Which, yeah. Hey,
All
Lady
right.
Miss, good to see you.
Real Wade Nation, Gaming Nation made a good choice. And heck, this one might even have a better battery pack in it. I might not even have to refurbish the battery on it, which saves me effort. Although it's not a lot of effort. It's like unscrew a compartment. But no, I did. If I'm gonna give someone something, what happened was like a Real Wade. He has a website, like it's like the Throne.me website, and he had a Game Boy in there. So I'm like, wait a second, you want a Game Boy? I got Game Boys, and I'm a hoarder, so I really shouldn't be holding on to all this stuff. Or if I can get rid of something, if I can give something away, make someone happy, and have one less thing to figure out how to get rid of, that's that makes sense. So yeah, Wade just made the choice, but I was gonna go and order a battery after testing it. So I still have to find a charger. I still got to charge both Game Boys and compare the batteries. And once I do, yes sir, it's a 101, Wade. And so once I test both batteries, I'll determine which battery is better, and I'll hook it up. I'll even swap the batteries between devices if the blue one has a better battery. But yeah, and Lady Miss, thanks for tuning in. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank Padawannabe. I want to thank Punk Waddle. We got Punk Waddle in the chat right over here. Thank you, Punk Waddle, for tuning in. That's weird. His name is blurring together. It looks almost like Punker. Yeah, that says Punk Waddle. He's got Grogu instead of the penguin.
Punk wannabe.
Yeah, Punk Wannabe. That's what it says.
I'm a punk wannabe.
And I forgot to say good night. I forgot to say good night, but good night, David Glenn, and thanks for tuning in. Oh, I got to add him as a mod on my subreddit. I'm the founding mod of r/plasma, and recently Reddit is going to start implementing like this weird like free speech filter. And I want to disable it, but I don't want to disable it until I have a second mod, because I don't know, like nobody says anything bad on a Plasma TV discussion forum, but I'm paranoid and I want to cover my bases. So before I disable the free speech filter, I want to make sure that I have a second mod, so in case something happens or there's a hostile takeover or somebody accuses me of allowing racism, I have somebody else who's able to control shit in case I get booted out of my own. I don't know. You never know. You never know. I mean, with Reddit, you never know. I did say awesome one, but I'll say it again. You're welcome, Punk. I'm watching. Oh, yeah, I read that before. But thank you for tuning in. So anyway, real quick rundown. Pop Culture Mechanic, James, David Glenn, Real Wade Gaming Nation. Snow Dub to the Dub Jolly. I believe he has a show hopefully this Saturday. Let me know if you need me to bring my robot. Salty Traveling Sea. If you're in the mood for the holiday spirit, he has a really nice Charlie Brown's Christmas video on his channel that I recommend checking out. When the deep calls the deep, we're gonna have to discuss two things now: your audio and making a countdown for your show. And Lorenzo Sleestack of the Sleestackians. We also had this dude here, Wrench Monkey Storytime. I don't think Tits and Ray Guns were here, but I did click the live chat button to ensure that I can see his messages, because apparently if I don't turn on live chat, Punk Waddle, it doesn't show me Tits and Ray Guns. Oh, and we had some person here, a friend of Snow Dub, I believe. Sounds like he was making a radar. Yes, it's a radar, but you cook food with it. Well, he was using a radar Magnetron Styropro. But I think we covered most of the chat. And my dear friend William and his number one, his Roisin. So of them there. So I'm happy to see my real life. Well, I mean, you're all real life friends in a way, except that these are people who live near me. So, I get to actually hang out with them too, more often than, when I go on a trip. And with that being said, I think we covered all of our bases. Punk Waddle, anything you want to promote, share or express outrage about before I wrap it up?
Well, I am getting back to the PSAs and Ice House. I didn't get the. I usually film stuff on Monday to Tuesday, but that was travel day and recoup day. So getting back into the swing, and next week I'll should have the positivity and everything out the normal time. So we're getting back in the swing of things.
And I do like the Penguin positivity for the chat. For those who haven't tuned into Punk Waddle's channel much, Penguin positivity is like an additional segment. So he does ponderances and he does Penguin positivity. The ponderances tend to be a little bit longer. So if you want a more detailed, hashed out opinion or thought, you'll get it out of a ponderance.
Well,
Um,
that's a Saturday Ice House chill stream, and then the Penguin positivities usually come around Tuesday, and the PSA, the Puppet Penguin Sheriff's announcements, come out Friday
oh,
morning.
that's
So
separate. Okay, so there's
yeah,
a third program. So this is even better in a way. And I really like the additional segments because like some of them are shorter. So like if I'm in the middle of like doing work and I want to just watch something real quick and give it a comment and a like, it's like a bite-sized item. So for those who maybe like let's say you feel that you have trouble, maybe you forget you add it to your playlist like I do and you forget to watch it until like 3 weeks later or something like it's really like easy to like watch something that's shorter and it's something that I want to try to do is like do shorts or even do videos that are not necessarily shorts but are shorter videos because like it might help
uh
me with the watch hours and the view hours and yada 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 but
yeah,
just like I said it's like I think that you're covering like we discussed it already but you basically like your response was pretty much what I was thinking like when I first saw it was like it broadens the audience a little bit, gives people a chance who maybe don't have time for this content to watch
right.
this
It's good to
content.
offer options and get after your take and ideas and stuff, so that you know I have a chance to see all the different stuff.
Exactly. And
Thank you
so,
much.
it works out. And thank you, Lady Miss, for dropping the link there. One of these days, I got to issue you guys a list of the chat commands. We got some chat commands. I need to finish updating them. I did update them again recently. So, like, you type in exclamation point slim and it types the link out basically. So, I don't like want to do the fully automatic links, but if the mods know about the links, it might be easier for them to type in links because they could just do an exclamation point command to get links. But we'll save that for another day. And I think yeah, it's just great, man. Everyone tuned in tonight. Really, going forward, I might do one more Monday show, but I'm gonna touch base with Disney Sheepherder. What we're probably gonna do is I'm gonna invite him in for next Monday, just so that like he's available. But if let's say for some reason something comes up and he's not able to show up, we're gonna do a Wednesday show after next week. After the next time I have Disney Sheepherder on, if he comes on Monday, after that we're switching to Monday show. We're moving the Monday show permanently to either Wednesday or Thursday because I can't keep doing Monday shows. Like it was a good idea when I started because it was like a way that I can keep myself doing the show and I wouldn't skip it. Like it worked out having it on a Monday, but now that I've been able to keep that commitment, the real issue I'm encountering is I'm unable to keep the commitment of getting a good night's sleep on a Tuesday. So I end up going to work on 3 hours sleep
Hmm.
because after sitting in front of the studio lighting and having a fun time with everyone here, I get too wired up and then I can't sleep for like an additional 2 hours after 1 a.m. So,
I hear you.
yeah, so that's where I'm at with moving the Monday show. But we are going to continue calling it the Monday show because I don't want anyone getting confused. So I know if we keep calling it the same name, people will know it's my Monday show.
They
So I
will.
figured that makes the most sense. I think that's gonna. I'm pretty sure. I'm very confident that's gonna reduce confusion. Punk Waddle.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great, and it's nobody's gonna get confused when they see that the Monday show is on a Wednesday. So
It's a
all in
Thursday.
all, see,
My
see
days have been
already.
off too because travel day Monday was weird. But
Like I
it
gotta
is
say,
it is a Monday Thursday, not Monday Thursday. It is a Monday Thursday. You don't have to be practicing Catholic to enjoy this.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's true. You don't.
You might call it a Monday Thursday show.
And look at that, we skipped Ash Wednesday,
Well, yeah,
but that's all right. Next year, there's
because
always
Ash
next
is
year.
for Pokemon, and we don't deal with that.
Oh yeah, wait, is there a thing about incinerating Pokemon?
I don't want to play with Charmander.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. Don't f around unless you have a hydro pump, right?
Well, that's why I play with Piplup.
And that's why I keep a Squirtle in a tank downstairs. That was perfect. All right.
It was
So
great.
jokes aside, though, it was really good seeing Lady Mist and Awesome One, Real Wade Nation, Slim Nim, and the Peter Venkman fan site, amongst many others who I've already shouted out. But jokes aside, it's really lovely having everyone tonight. And with that being said, I think we're going to get that introduction now. I'm using the new version of Restream, so I recommend lowering your volume level, Punk Waddle, just in case I make a mistake with the audio output.
I
I
don't
will
know how to
try.
adjust my audio with the new settings, so let's
Move your head.
get one.
Never mind. Best plan ever. Oh yeah, I don't know if I told you I did that. I did that some months ago.
Yeah,
All right.
I've seen that.
All right, chat. Have a good night.